Along with Juan Williams, Eric Bowling, Dana Perino, and Greg Gutfeld. It's midnight in New York City, and this is The Five. I'm going to kill you. I mean, you really are a weirdo. Fox News Alert, thank you for joining us on this special late-night edition of The Five. A big night in politics on the Republican side. Donald Trump racks up 2 more primary victories in West Virginia and Nebraska, picking up 70 more delegates. Trump, the only candidate left in the GOP race, has now won 30 states. But the big story tonight on the Democratic side, Bernie Sanders upsets Hillary Clinton in West Virginia. The crushing blow comes 1 week after Sanders beat Clinton in Indiana, and at his victory rally earlier, Sanders assured supporters he's in the race for the long haul.
And this is a state, West Virginia, where Hillary Clinton won by over 40 points against Barack Obama in 2008. With our victory tonight in West Virginia, we have now won primaries and caucuses in 19 states. Let me be as clear as I can be. We are in this campaign to win the Democratic nomination.
Sounds like somebody who's got that nomination clinched or something, Dana, right? The enthusiasm, his confidence, and the crowd seems to love him.
He loves winning, and he loves the crowd, and the crowd seems to really love him. Not that Hillary Clinton's crowds don't love her when she wins and she goes out. We saw that, especially like Philadelphia when she won in Pennsylvania. The superdelegate process that the Democrats had, in some ways, I think Republicans look at that and go, wow, that's actually a good idea. But Republicans moved away from that a while ago. I talked to a prominent Democrat recently who said that they think that maybe that the Republican system is a little bit better and more fair. And I think that Bernie Sanders, not only when he goes to the convention, will demand some sort of platform issue that be included in the Democratic agenda, but I also think that there will be a discussion on the Democratic side once again to try to flatten out and make the process a little bit more transparent.
It should be interesting. All right, Bowling,
Thanks.
We've got some numbers.
You weren't even listening.
We'll see. I am listening,
No,
actually. I'm in charge of this block. You've been removed. Gutfeld's canceled. So, Eric, we've got some new numbers that have been coming out. 6 exit polls, yes, that we can go over now. And some of them I think are very important in terms of the coal industry, households in West Virginia, Democrats, and we were talking about this earlier. You think that this is something that can trend very well for Trump?
I think Donald Trump can turn what is going on in West Virginia right now into a national issue. I think he can take the comment Hillary Clinton said about coal miners, especially not just the coal industry, but the miners specifically, that she's willing to put them out of business over her ideology on coal, and turn it into a national. What's next? Is the oil industry next? Are retailers who aren't paying $15 an hour, are they next? 2 things, though, of these exit polls right here, the one that really kind of jumps out, we talked about it a little bit earlier, was that angry or dissatisfied with the federal government, 92% in Nebraska, 92% in West Virginia, Republicans. You know, that seems to be resonating. And the other one, it varies depending on what time of night you take the poll, but the exit polls show anywhere between 35 and 50%, depending on what time of the evening it was taken, of Sanders voters would vote for Donald Trump over Hillary Clinton if those are their 2 choices. I mean, that's massive opportunity for Donald Trump to capture Democrat voters. Go for it. That's the thing that we've been talking about for a long time. Why can Donald Trump win even if he doesn't do better with African Americans or Latinos or women? Because he can get Democrat voters.
Juan, you don't believe that it's possible?
No, I mean, West Virginia is an outlier here. Remember, West Virginia is a state with very few minority voters, almost none. And, in fact, Bernie Sanders is going to go on a run, I think, in Kentucky, possibly Oregon coming up. So it'll look, I mean, this conversation is going to continue. He will say, oh, I'm winning and I have this chance. There's, first of all, no chance that he catches up to Hillary Clinton in terms of delegates.
I'm saying if he's not the nominee, what percentage of his voters would vote for Trump over Clinton? And the numbers, what would you say?
What would I say? I don't know
20?
what percentage. 20? You out of your mind. There's no way to 20%.
40 in West Virginia.
No, look, I keep saying to you, it's an outlier, and I think it has a lot to do with who you're talking about. If you're talking about working class white voters and coal miners, well, maybe you have a shot. Beyond that, no shot.
Well, okay, so, but...
Zero.
Throw up an airball.
Well, no, if
Sanders voters would vote for Trump.
In order to believe that Sanders supporters will move to Trump, you have to ignore three things that they diverge on. The wall. Sanders supporters are not for the wall. They are not for banning Muslims, and they are pro-global warming. Sanders is for a carbon tax. Trump says that global warming is a hoax. So those are three huge issues in which there's no overlap. Now, I also did some of my own exit polling, and there's some interesting facts about the Five doing a midnight show. According to 4 people I talked to, they were adamantly against it. They said absolutely no.
Don't do it.
They also said that the Five needs an on-set masseuse and a pet Komodo dragon. And
How about pets?
No, Komodo dragon. Don't ask for more than you deserve, please.
You know what he's doing, right? He's doing his level best.
There's a margarine of error.
Margarine. I can't believe it's not butter. All right. Whether or not those Democratic voters in West Virginia think Clinton can beat Trump come November, about 60% of the voters think that she can. Now, that's compared to about 90% of Republican West Virginia voters who think Trump can beat Hillary. See the comparison, Mr. Bowling?
Yeah, and again, can I just point out on this exit poll that anywhere between 35 and 50%, these are Democrats. So you're saying that the number would be 0 is ludicrous.
No, it's
These
not.
are Democrats who say they would vote for Trump.
Let's go back to Greg's point.
And I'll throw a number out there.
Wait, hold on. Hang on. Let's go back to Greg's point.
15%. Yeah, but
no, not 50. You have these fantasies.
But the West Virginia Democrats have the same issues as everyone else, don't they?
What do you mean?
They're against the wall. Bernie supporters in West Virginia.
Go back to what Greg was saying, but I'll enlarge on what Greg was saying in terms of the difference between people who support Trump and people who support Sanders. The key thing is people who support Trump hate government.
I understand
They hate big government.
But 35 to 50% of these people are those people.
Wait a second. This is what you're saying. 90% hate the federal government. Can't stand it. Guess what?
Republicans.
Sanders people want bigger government. They want government that provides for single-payer health care. Do you get this?
What? Yes. I don't disagree with any of that.
Okay.
I'm saying 35 to 50% of Democrats in West Virginia would vote for Trump instead of Hillary. If the number's substantially less on a national basis, what's your number? Is it 10? Is it 15%?
Let me say,
if it's 15%, you're talking about 10 million votes that Trump could get.
In 12 or 08, in 08 when Hillary beat Obama by 40 points, did you say, oh, all those votes are going to go to McCain? Is that what you said?
What? How is that the same apples to apples?
Well, it's 40%. So 40% difference, much bigger than tonight.
The other point is, where was the dust-up in the violence between Trump? It was Sanders supporters. There's a lot of animosity there.
Okay, but Dana, what he's saying is there a possibility that some of the people that look at Bernie Sanders and say, listen, we're not for Hillary Clinton. We like Bernie Sanders, and in fact, we want to vote against Hillary Clinton, that they could perhaps, some of them, some percentage could cross over to vote for somebody, an outsider like Trump.
I mean, probably more than a handful. They're going to have to be. It's going to have to be persuasive, and there's going to have to be some campaigning to be done. But coal country was going to be against Hillary Clinton probably anyway. They'll probably be against Bernie Sanders anyway. And there's actually, unfortunately, because the industry has been so maligned and decimated by regulation and policies that are go towards a no fossil fuel sort of future unicorn situation that they want. I think that would be difficult for them to do to flip that around. But is it possible that some might? Yeah, I mean, a handful. Yeah, I don't know if it will make a huge amount of difference, but there's a lot of work to be done. And I mean, and especially if you're going to be the Republican National Committee, it's going to have to decide. Okay, well, we have to figure out how do we bring the Republicans all together to make sure that they turn out in large numbers. In addition, we try to find these Bernie Sanders voters. But I will say this about Hillary Clinton. Her numbers are so bad, and I don't know, I was asking Brett Baer earlier, like, what's the plan for them to turn that around? That's actually, rather than thinking about the Bernie Sanders votes, like, she's going to get the nomination, so then how is she going to flip that around? That I don't know.
How tired of Bernie is Hillary? I mean, imagine, like, a dude in a car tailgating you from D.C. to Los Angeles, just honking his horn. This is somebody that should have been peeled off like in
slam on the brakes.
Yeah, I mean, every time she tries to take a right turn, he's right behind her, driving around. She can't shake the guy. It's a shame.
You know why?
Why?
Her car's not fast enough.
There you, yes.
Right? If
Yeah.
her car were fast enough, she could shake him, but it's not. And that's an opportunity.
So
for
here's
her.
the
Is
saving
it solar
grace.
powered, sponsored by Solyndra?
How dare you?
What did you say?
Oh,
It's midnight.
media matters. Media matters.
Get Dina. You got after me earlier.
I
It's her turn.
guess I can't do another midnight show.
Oh, my goodness. All right, coming up, GOP leaders remain divided ahead of the key meeting between Donald Trump and House Speaker Paul Ryan. Can the two help bring the party closer to unity, or can they help us? Brand new reaction from both Trump and Ryan ahead on this special late-night edition of The Five. Don't go away.